Thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get talking on our main conversation for today. In less than 4 years, allocations to Nigeria's 3 tiers of government have more than doubled, yet the living conditions of millions of citizens have worsened. Data from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, Faac, show that total shared revenue rose from 9.18 trillion naira in 2022 to 10.9 trillion naira in 2023, climbed to 15.26 trillion in 2024, and reached 18.54 trillion between January and October of 2025. Altogether, 44.03 trillion was shared within 34 months. The states and local governments have been major beneficiaries. States allocations increased from 3.58 trillion in 2023 to 5.81 trillion in 2024, and further to 7.54 trillion in the first 10 months of 2025. Despite this surge, poverty indicators have deteriorated following the removal of fuel subsidy and the floating of the Naira. In May 2023, fuel prices soared, the Naira depreciated sharply, and inflation peaked at 34.8% in December of 2024. Although inflation has eased in 2025, hardship persists. World Bank estimates indicates that about 139 million Nigerians, around 61% of the population, are now living below the national poverty line. Let's get talking. I still have with me His Greatness Agadaigo, barrister, public affairs analyst. Thank you so very much, barrister, for hanging on.
Always a pleasure. Happy weekend.
Yeah.
Thank
you so Yes, thank you so very much. Barrister, this is more like a transition from where we're coming from, that is our newspapers. And there you have it, the indicators are there. You said that the president has been very careful in his approach not to hunt Nigerians or to depress them. But the indicators are there. Despite the large amount of sharing of money, still Nigerians are poorer than he met them. So don't you think that is contrary to what you had said during our newspaper conversation?
Please, don't get me wrong. I want to be very clear on what I'm saying. Please, I've not said that the president have done very well. I've not said that. What I'm saying in respect of the religious implementation of the new tax act in terms of applying the whip measure, punitive measure, carrot and cane, the cane measure, whip measure. I said that the president will be extremely careful so that he does not in any way hurt Nigerians or offend them or annoy them because of the upcoming 2027 presidential elections, so that it does not affect him. I've not said, and I've said that because we have seen him show exceptional interest in his viability for 2027 all through this year 2025, based on his actions and inaction. So I've not said that he has governed very well in the year 2025, but I'm sure I've said that based on the way he has played his politics, based on the way he has carried out enforcement of his economic policies, he is extremely cautious, is extremely concerned both by his actions and his inaction on how his politics and his policies affect his chances in 2027.
Yes,
so
but
that's what I've said.
His
now coming back to
chances, his politics and chances is not looking well for Nigeria from the data we have. He has increased so much money, which I would love to believe are equally his strategy to getting people to elect him come 2027. But it is very clear and glaring that all of those is like 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So many states have more money, local governments have more money, but Nigerians are poorer. So of what good is that strategy to get Nigerians to vote for him when nothing is working in the country?
First of all, let's be very realistic. Let's be very realistic. And when I say let's be very realistic, let me ask this question. In true, real monetary terms and value, do the states actually have more money today than they did in May 29th, 2023, or in 2022, or in 2021? Do they really, in true monetary terms, do they really have more money?
Not at all.
Sorry, let me come this way. Before May 29, 2023, I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, $1 was 450 naira.
Yeah.
450 naira. 95% of the things we use in Nigeria are imported. So our Nigerian economy can only be best assessed in dollar terms, not naira terms. 450 naira. Today now we are even celebrating that the dollar is slightly below 1,500 naira. Let me even give it that the dollar today now is 1,450 naira. That means the dollar, our naira has depreciated from 2023 till now in 350%. I'm carrying by, I'm doing the calculation as I'm talking to you. 350% depreciation. 350% depreciation. So if you say allocation for social intervention programs have doubled, it means that it is still less than what they were 2.5 years ago. That's the reality. Because when you double something, it's 100%. But meanwhile, the depreciation is 350%. So if you minus 100 from 350, it means that what the states are even getting now in true monetary terms is 250% in diminished value. That is number one. It's not how well, but how far. It's not how much, but what is the value? What can it buy? What can it do? What can it enhance? Many of the states now, they have even had to do in road contracts and other infrastructural projects what they refer to as a reassessment, reevaluation, project reevaluation. And many times when they do project reevaluation, you find out that the project is 10 times more expensive than what it was before. Many of the roads that were not completed before May 29, 2023, they are doing reevaluation based on the new economic reality in terms of monetary value, monetary real value. And many at times, if you follow it, you find out that the reevaluation does not lead to reduced resource allocation, but multiplied resource allocation in 1,000% terms. So having laid that foundation, that I'm sure both of us can agree that we have a diminished resource allocation, despite which was partly even caused by the not well thought out, not well planned, but how do we do it? Quick fix, fuel removal pronouncements by Bola Ahmed Tinubu on 29th of May 2023. Having laid that foundation, now why does it appear that even with the marginal allocation to social intervention programs, it appears that we are not reaping the kinds of outputs and benefits that we have long desired. Number one, I will say, is lack of inconsistency in government policies. Number one, if you want to really gain, and first of all, I'm sure you are aware that social intervention programs helping the poor, lifting the poor, even World Bank definition of who is poor, poverty, has even increased. It used to be those who earn $1 a day, but now it is those who earn $1.05 a day are those who are within the poverty bracket. The poverty bracket. Those are the poor. And of course, if I say 1,500 times $1 is what now? 1,500 for a day plus 0.5. That's it. 5 cents. 5 cents will now give us roughly times 300. Okay, let's say 300. 1,800, 2,000. You are within the poverty bracket. So now, even the 2,000 naira a day times 30 days is 60,000. Meanwhile, our just increased minimum wage is how much for many states, and the federal government is 70.
So which means the minimum wage are below poverty line.
They are, based on my rough estimates, I'm not a mathematician, I'm a lawyer, but based on my rough estimates, we will say that majority of civil servants are still within the poverty margin. That's the reality. So now, having said that, why does it appear that even though social intervention programs, they are even constitutional, they are provided in Section 14 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. So they are constitutional. So we must give it constitutional priority. Why does it appear that it is not working? And that's why what I was saying, lack of consistency. For any social intervention program in any nation to work, you must pursue it religiously for at least 10 years. 10 years, but usually it should not even be 10, at least 20 years. You know, Soludo came with needs program for federal government seats when he came with his economic reform, when he increased the capital base of the bank and did other reforms, economic reforms. Needs seats, that was in 2023 during Obasanjo's second term. 2023, I think maybe June, July, thereabout. But immediately Obasanjo left 2027, that program was aborted. 3 years or thereabout later. That's one. Buhari came in with this Empower project, which was very good, which was beginning to even gain momentum. But you can see that this present government, even though they are all of APC stock, has abandoned Empower. So lack of consistency as what has made this social intervention allocation appear to be unproductive by not meeting set out goals and set out objectives. That's number two. Another issue again is that, in my own humble opinion, social intervention projects, budgets for both states and federal government, if they must hit the golden mark, then we must be prepared to allocate not less than 5% of the Nigerians' budget and states' budget for social intervention programs. So it's not just giving like dashing a beggar money, you give him what you like, peas and no, because you are using them as viable strategies for economic viability, viable strategies for economic recovery, and viable strategies for economic growth. So it's like you should declare a state of emergency on our social intervention programs by saying that in 2030, it's 10 years time at least, 2035, 40, there will no more be any poor person in Nigeria. There won't be any person in Nigeria who earns less than $2 a day, whether in private sector, whether in public sector. So you must give it prioritized allocation, resource allocation, both federal, state, and local. And again, too, we must be clear. This number 4 points. We must be clear that social intervention programs must be dealt with from 2 angles. Number 1, we have those for consumption. Those who you are giving, who make up the register, which government gives maybe 10, 15,000 a month as grants. That's for those. Then the second aspect is for those for production, those for small, medium scale industries. Yeah, it's for production because this money you are allocating to them with no interest and at times maybe with no collateral is for investment so that they can be entrepreneurs, they can be employers and employers of labor to reduce our unemployment stock profile, our employment stock, to reduce it greatly. So you must handle and you must do it, both those for consumption and those for production. You must dignify it so that those who really need it can come out. They will not feel like the castrated in societies, who feel ashamed. No, so you must dignify it. And again, too, number 5 point is that many of the registered complied, the state government and local government said they are not aware. So in doing it, it must be collaborative. It must be a bottom-top approach. The poor people, those who need it for business, small, medium industry, it must come from the local government to the state to the federal government, so that that register will be credible, so that you put the right peg in the round hole. It must get to the people who need it. Except it gets to the people who need it, poverty will continue to increase, because if the poor people who cannot feed themselves, you are allocating it to those who are multi-millionaires or those who are middle class who don't need it, then those poor people will remain poor. If you are allocating money for small grants, for small, medium scale industries, to people who are multi-millionaires or people who do not do any business, it means you have put those money on wrong hands, so it will not stimulate economic growth and development.
All right.
So it is very, very important for us to have a credible register. Then again, too, and this is very important, apart from after identifying those who need it, there must be proper monitoring, follow up to see the progress being made, so that those who have left the poverty bracket, you can remove them and maybe bring new entries, bring new enrollees into the package in a bid to reduce poverty. And of course, true, we want to see increased allocation for social capital, social intervention programs in Nigeria. We need to see increased allocation so that it can be geared towards enhancing economic growth and development. Then lastly, maybe I will stay on this. After we have dealt with long-term, we have dealt with collaboration, we have dealt with at least 5% of allocating our budget. If our social intervention programs must be impactful in society, in Nigerian society, there must be transparency and accountability. You should be able to publish it either on a quarterly basis, on a half-year, 6 months basis, or on a yearly basis. Those who benefit from social intervention allocations, so that it will make transparency, and it will also eradicate duplication of benefits, because we see some people benefiting from local government, states, the same people from states, the same federal government. So you are doing one thing over and over again. So how do you get multiplied effects? So there must be transparency. It must be the watchword. So if we can put these things in place and ensure transparency and accountability, then even with the highly reduced social intervention allocation in real monetary value, which I've explained,
okay,
we will see reduced poverty index that we can truly rely on. And again, lastly, sorry, I must say this, we must also be strategic in applying social intervention funds for productive endeavors. It's just like if we are being strategic and we apply social intervention funds for production of garri, production of this one, a groundnut I love a lot, ugwe groundnut, which has medicinal value, medicinal benefits for teeth. It enhances your teeth, protects your teeth. Ugwe groundnut, I want to say it online. If there's a way we can properly strategically allocate social intervention benefits that will bring a basket of garri, which is currently at 3,500. That's my take. I don't know whether I'm correct. That can bring it to 1,000 naira. And also maize, corn, ugwe groundnut, which I said has dental medicinal value. If we properly apply social intervention resources into these agricultural products and others, it will bring down the price. It will bring down the price drastically so that Nigerians can afford these agricultural products without stress or ache. So this must be the mind of policymakers. If our social intervention efforts, social intervention policies will gain traction and make an impact in the overall conditions of lives and living standards of citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including you and my humble self, sir. I don't think I can hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you, sir. Oh, I can't hear you, sir.
Of our show today. We truly do appreciate you, Barrister. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. Please, I didn't hear what you said before.
Okay, yes. So I was actually, speaking to what you had said. We truly do appreciate you taking out time to do the research and fleshing out, some of those things are very so key and important. And I truly do hope that our leaders would have the opportunity of listening to the voice of reasoning like yourself and many more who have taken out time to do extensive research on some of these things and of course bring that out for Nigerians to learn. The last time we carried out census in Nigeria was in 2006. Yes, many years after, we still do not know how many we are in the country. Some say 220 million, some say 218 million. But if we do not know the exact number of people in the country, how well can the country plan? That's another big issue there. But we have to leave it at that point. Thank you so very much, Barrister. We truly do appreciate you once more.
Once again, always a pleasure. Happy Shiloh 2025.
Yeah.
Break new grounds and have a fantastic weekend, sir.
Thank you so very much, Barrister. We truly do appreciate you every time and hope that you'll be around to speak to us whenever we have you. And that's about the time. Thank you, everyone, wherever you've watched around the world. We'd love to say thank you for making this picture complete. But please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwe. Have yourself a splendid day. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.